So reasons for the monsoon climate. Now what brings this monsoon climate? Let's understand that why this monsoon climate is even taking place. So it says over here that in the summer the land in the Central Asia becomes very hot, which is very true. Okay, and the Central Asia. Okay, let me show you the world map. Okay, where did the world map go, man? Okay, the land in the Central Asia. So we're talking about this Central Asian land, okay? Because it's this particular area. You see this like in a deserted area. So it's very common sense, guys. We have studied this thing before as well. That the cities, the countries which are the cities, especially the regions which are enjoying the coastal line, the coast. This is entire coastal line, right? These entire over here. If you take example of Russia from here as well, they all are enjoying the coastal land over here, right? So all of these places are having moderate temperature, but and so what is happening that so what is happening that it keeps on exchanging, let's say, the wind and the air with the sea and with the land. So when they do exchange it vice versa, the temperature remains much moderate as compared to the places like for instance take an example of Dadu. Take example of Dadu. This is my village, by the way. Okay. Take an example of Larkana. So at the night time, Dadu and Larkana are very warm or very hot. Whereas if you take example of Hyderabad and Karachi, which are kind of, let's say, technically kind of a little bit near to the ocean, as compared to these places over there in the interior Sindh, they tend to be more warmer and more hotter. So that's why, we have very moderate temperature in Hyderabad. Yeah, sometimes it gets sickening hot, but it doesn't get, I don't believe that it gets sickening hot in Karachi as it does in Hyderabad, or if you go travel further into the Sindh. So this I told you on a very smaller scale. Let me explain you the same concept on a huge scale. Now let's talk about the continental scale, on this scale of this entire continent. So what is happening over here, that it's saying that these areas which are in the middle, okay, they're not having a good exchange of the weather with the ocean because they are in the middle. How can they have it with it? Okay, so let's move further. It says over here that in the summer, the land in the Central Asia becomes very hot. So I hope this point is clear very well and you have understood it as well. Okay, then it says that we have already learned that the hot land heats the air above it. Yeah, that's true. And the temperature influences air pressure. That's true as well. So the map in figure 1.27 shows that the low pressure, which results from this hot rising air, the Himalayas separate a large area of low pressure in Central Asia from the smaller areas of the lower pressure in Punjab. So it also says over here that we also learned that the land heats up more quickly than sea. So when the land is in the Central Asia is very hot in summers, the sea is cooler. Of course, that's true. As the air over the sea is also cooler, it means that the air pressure over the sea is higher. The air over the sea is weighing more heavily just because it isn't rising very much. Of course, that's true. So it says over here that we also learned earlier that the wind is movement of air from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. Look at the arrows on figure number 1.27a, which shows the direction of the winds in summary. Okay, so these are the direction of the winds, that what is happening to the wind as well over here. And then it says over here, they are blowing from the sea to the land. This means that due to the evaporation of the water from the sea, they contain a lot of water vapor and moisture. When this moisture air rises over the land, it cools. It cools down. So do you remember the effect of the cooling on the water vapor? The cooling causes the condensation and formation of the clouds, and then the summer monsoon rainfall takes place as well. And that's why there is also a lot of rainfall seen in this region as well, in the in the China's mainland region as well. Okay, this is Guangzhou, and this is Nanjing, this is Shanghai. Oh, hey, where did the Beijing go? Oh my God, did we really lost Beijing or something like that? Okay, here's the Beijing. Okay, so Hubei, Beijing, and there's a lot of greenery as well. Actually, greenery plays a lot of huge role as well. So these places in the China, they also receive a huge rainfall as well. Okay, and then let's try to study further. So it says that. So do you remember the effect of cooling water vapor? So this is how rainfall happens. Then it says that we have learned about the temperature in the winter in Mongolia. What do you notice, and when do you compare the map figure 1.27 with the map in the skills book in exercise number 2, chapter number 1? So this is a little bit exercise given there. So you just go and do it. So now over here it says that using what you have now learned, can you explain the directions of the wind in the winter show on the map 1.27b. I think about the rates of cooling of land and sea, the temperature and the air pressure. These winds are also dry winds and cause a little rainfall. Why are the winter winds dry winds? So this is a question that you need to answer. Okay. So guys, I guess that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next video because this has got already too long as well. Yep. So this was entire basic concepts that, in the summary, I would like to say that how the wind is traveling from the region of low pressure to the higher pressure, or from high to low pressure, and how it is changing, how it is affecting the climate of the entire continent. Okay, not only just Pakistan or India or Southeast Asian countries, but the entire continent. Okay, and what affects the lands, the geographical positions, the geographical places which are far away from the coastal cities or coastal areas, which are in the Central Asia, which have no natural, let's say, sea or ocean touching to them, and how hot they become and what happens to them, right? So now in the next video, we're going to talk about the equatorial climate, and finally, that's going to be the last topic of this chapter. And then we have finally achieved and completed this chapter, inshallah. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.